Hi, welcome to the first edition of Learning English with me, Rahul Jain. Today, I have with me a student of mine, Ayush, who has generously agreed to work with us for an interview session. Here, Ayush is going to play the role of an interviewee who gets interviewed for a hotel management course for a college. This is how the interview is going forward.
Good morning, sir.
I hope
Good
that you're
afternoon,
doing
sir.
good. Good afternoon.
Yes,
Very good
sir.
afternoon. Perfect. So, what brings you here today?
Sir, today, after all, this is my interview with you, and it's such a great opportunity for me.
This, as you can see, is an amazing opportunity for you to establish a basic repo, an initial repo with the interviewer. In such a situation, you can tell them how much do you appreciate this opportunity that you have been offered to take this interview. You can also tell them that this opportunity means a lot to you. This is a college of your choice, this is an institution of your choice, or an organization of your choice that has always been the priority organization or institute that you have always wanted to work with or always wanted to take admission in, and thus you feel elated to have this opportunity today. Let's see further.
Okay. Okay. Can take this first opportunity to introduce yourself and tell me something about you.
Sure, sir. I am Ayush Chandok. I am 17 years old, and recently I've completed my senior secondary education from the Laurel High School, and now I'm pursuing hotel management as a career option, and I'm honestly very excited for this journey. And my strengths, as you can say, are generally my family and none other than weaknesses like that. That's it.
Good, Ayush.
Manner. One thing that you must have realized here is that the interviewer did not know anything about the candidate. Then it becomes the onus of the interviewee to explain every possible bit of information that he or she thinks is important for him to be seen in the best light possible. What all are the things that you can include in this part? The first is the information about the academic record. Why? Because that is the sole principle, the sole thing which their decision is going to be based on. The second is how different you are from any other individual. This is a place or this is a time wherein you can talk about certain hobbies or interests of yours which have been applauded by the people outside, that you have gotten certificates for, or you have been able to show yourself as a person that is different from the lot that you're coming from. So this is a great opportunity for you to create a good stage for yourself, which is going to mark a turning point for the rest of your interview. Let's see ahead.
Ayush. Thank you for introducing yourself. Ayush, you briefly mentioned about your family. Tell me something about your family background.
Sorry, sir, you're not audible.
Ayush, tell me something about your family background.
Okay, sir, I have a nuclear family. Only my father and mother and me are in the family. My father is a businessman, and my mother is a housemaker.
This was a great answer by Ayush. In this situation, you can also talk about what is it that makes your family unique the best thing to talk about in this situation is that your family works as the support system of yours. So if there is a troublesome situation that you are ever to encounter in your life, then your family is always there to support you. Also, at this point, it is very important for you to clarify that the decision that you're making about your career or your life is not the one that is coming from your family. This is something that is independent to you, and you are the sole owner of the onus of this particular decision. So this is a great point where you can establish your individuality. There are a lot of candidates who never come out of the shadow of their parents or of their family members. So the organizations see this as a great ability if you can show yourself as an individual person who has the ability to take personal decisions. So a great opportunity that you can tap into at this point.
Good, great. Ayush, tell me about your long-term and short-term goals. What do you want to achieve over 5 years or more? And what do you have in your mind for the next couple of years as your plan?
Sir, for the long term, I would say that as I'm pursuing hotel management, I would like to get an opportunity for settling abroad. If I would like to get opportunity to settle abroad, I will absolutely go for it. That would be a great opportunity for me. And like short like studying hard, like studying in the institution of hotel management. That's it.
In this situation, Ayush said that he wants to settle abroad, which is not a bad thing to say. The only problem is the institute does not see any value in this answer. Why? Because you are not telling them that you are going to be the flag bearer of the ethics, the learning, and the methods that you have learned in this institution, and take that abroad along with you while you will be working as a successful professional there. This tells us that you're probably looking at hotel management as a shortcut to go abroad. Hence, it is very important for you to clarify how is it that you look at utilizing this course that you're getting into for your future endeavors. No matter if you want to go abroad and that is what your final goal is, but it is really important that you tell me how is it that you're going to chart your course to that final goal using the knowledge that you gain from this institution, and how important is it going to be for you to take admission in this college to be able to reach that point. One. The next is about your short term goal, in which Ayush seemed pretty determined to complete a course here in this college, which is going to cater him knowledge about hotel management, which seems pretty trustworthy.
Okay. Ayush, tell me something. We people are experiencing absolutely an event which was not seen before. So, what do you do to overcome stress in such a situation?
Honestly, I try to like distract myself from the all the like stressful environment. Usually, I can read books and like watch videos or something and spend time with my family first of all, most importantly.
Okay. Is there anything else that you have taken up during this course so that you can keep the stress to the minimum
Uh, s- During these days.
during this time of the pandemic?
Oh yes, yes. I had been like preparing for my entrance exams, and sir, in a day there are around 2 to 3 classes, and it's quite interesting. So I do not feel stress these days because of the preparations.
You must have realized that here Ayush made some cardinal, very, very primary basic mistakes. The first mistake was that he talked about taking classes at this point in time in order to prepare for competitive examinations. Now, this is something that is absolutely seen as a symbol of incapability. Nobody ethically would ever allow anyone to take outside sessions. The primary reason that we people go to school or if we go to college is so that we people can gain knowledge. Now, if you associate yourself to gain similar knowledge from another institution, it seems a little awkward. So, this is one thing that you are never supposed to pronounce. The other is when you are given an opportunity to say what is it that you are doing to combat a situation that is prevalent today, then you are supposed to tell them what is it that you have done differently from the other days. Also, when you said that there is one most important thing then that you do, it should have been prioritized above other pieces of information. It should have been seen as your reflex. So spending time with your family should have been a reflex answer. So this is a sort of mistake that is done by a lot of students, and Ayush was trying to reciprocate that feeling here in this particular situation. One more thing that you need to understand apart from the verbal answer that he has produced in this situation, the movement of his hands also tell us a lot about him. If you could see, his hands were moving in a way, or his fingers were moving in a way that told me that he was probably getting a little nervous to answer these questions. So this becomes very important that you manage your nerves all during the examination, and it should not be visible in your non-verbal cues also. This should manage your verbal as well as non-verbal cues. Very important. Although his eye contact has been proper as long as this video has been, but when it came to his non-verbal cues, which most of us forget to manage, haven't been proper. Next.
Okay. Ayush, since you're going to eventually join an organization, tell me in brief what is it that your understanding is about the difference between a manager and a leader. How do you think that these two people are different?
Sir, a manager manages other people working, and a leader helps the people working to achieve a certain goal.
Okay, good. Is there any other quality of a leader that makes him different from the manager?
Yes, sir. A leader participates with the people working with his teammates to achieve a certain goal, whereas the manager is the one like who manages how other people are working.
Okay, good.
In this situation, he was supposed to give me an example as well, which would have made me understand that his understanding of the concept of a manager and a leader are very, very clear. In this situation, when he was talking about a manager, he did not tell me that anybody, whatever designation that they might be serving at, or whatever responsibilities that they might be sharing, can act as a leader in their own individual capacity. That means while being a manager at work, he can still be a leader by being exemplary in his or her work. In this situation, it serves really well if you could produce one instance from your previous instances in terms of the things that you might have done at school, the things that you might have done in your previous job, which tells me that you have been a leader in a situation wherein you were managing people. The primary job of a manager is to optimize work and produce whatever that is required in terms of his or her business responsibilities. The job of a leader is to streamline spirits, operation, and produce the desired result while keeping the apprehensions and beliefs of the people that he's working in working with in check. So there are two things that a leader does. That is, he gets the work done along with getting the people on the same boat. He will not let anybody stay aloof. He would not let anybody astray from the objectives. How does he or she do it? He or she does it by an exemplary route. He is not going to force his or her way into that person's mind. That person should, the leader should be able to show it and then lead the people around him.
Why do you want to join the service sector?
Sir, it's a like a great opportunity first of all, and I would like to say that it's a like new door for me. It's a like new door for me, and honestly, in the service sector, like we have to meet new people, and honestly, dealing with new people.
Now, this is a question that is asked by a lot of institutions and also in terms of job interviews. The best way of answering this question is by epitomizing on the strength that you have. Service industry and its definition is supposed to be produced first. After that, what you are going to show is your ability to meet challenges. Service industry has never been the first choice to work with. Why? Because it caters intangible product. Intangible service is intangible. You cannot see it in terms of furniture or products. Hence it becomes more challenging. Thus, this is a great opportunity for you to show the examiner that you are great in taking challenges, managing them, and producing the desired results within the framework of the organization or the institution. When you are facing a college interview, you can use this opportunity to tell them that along with the inherent skill that I have, I am going to utilize whatever learning that I get from this institution to come out victorious in any challenging situation that the service sector produces to me.
Clearly that you're inclined towards joining the service sector. Tell me this, that how is it that the service sector contributes to the development of the economy?
Sir, as in the like economy, there are three sectors: primary, secondary, and tertiary. The other two sectors are completely related with the agriculture and transportation and all. So, whereas the service sector provides the economy to grow up. For example, the teachers are there. Uh, like uh, we are all in the service sector are servants, like public servants. We serve the public, and eventually, it serves the economy.
You can use this question to show how well equipped are you with the knowledge about service sector, especially in a country like India. Herein, service sector shares the maximum load when it comes to the GDP of the country. Also, it is one sector that employs the maximum population here in India. So it employs over 30% of the population. Most of the companies, in terms of domestic, also in terms of foreign investments that come into these companies, happen to be in the services sector. Thus, a great opportunity to show how well equipped you are about the knowledge of this sector.
Okay, good. Ayush, tell me, what do you understand by these two terms? The first term is wanderlust, the second term is sunlust. What do you understand by these two terms?
Sir, Wanderlust means, sir, it is a desire to like roam around. Like you have to explore new places. You just like going to new places. And sir, Sunlust is something. Sunlust is something like sitting in the sun all day.
Good. Okay. Is there any other difference that you understand between these two things, or are they just the same?
Sir, honestly, I don't find any. Like I do find a difference.
Okay.
Like a wanderlust is something you have to. It is related with the like exploring new places around, And sir, Sunlust isn't related to all these things. That's the only difference I
Okay,
find.
okay.
So, here, this is a situation wherein the examiner asks you something that is related to the industry, is contemporary, but could be a piece of knowledge that you're not aware of. Here, we could see that Ayush got perturbed. He got a little disturbed because he did not know the answer to one of the questions that was asked of him. In this situation, the best thing to say is that the answer to one of this skips me at this point in time, but I am sure to get back to you as soon as it occurs to me. Just in case, if you forget a piece of information, if you do not know about something, you shouldn't say that you don't know. You also shouldn't make up an answer in that very instance. You shouldn't try and mumble the answer either if you do not know the perfect resolution to that question. The best thing to do in that case is to tell the examiner that it skips you, and you will get back to the examiner with the answer as soon as it occurs to you again. This shows a lot of confidence. It also tells the examiner that you might have forgotten it. And that is a possibility. That is something that anybody would be willing to learn in that situation.
Ayush, why did you choose our college over all the other colleges that are offering the same course?
Sir, though I forms for two, three more institutions as well, but the practical knowledge I'm going to get with the theoretical knowledge here is absolutely exemplary. I saw the interview with the dean of the college also of Vidyata Institute of Hotel Management, and I was completely like I was inclined towards getting towards this institution.
This is a great opportunity for you to show how involved you are with this institution already. Also, this is a great opportunity for you to tell them that how prioritized is this option in front of you vis-a-vis any other option that you might be considering. This again is a myth wherein the institutes or the people who are getting interviewed are told that you're not getting interviewed anywhere else, but this is not the truth, and everybody knows so. On the contrary, this can take you to a tricky road wherein the examiner might feel or the interviewer might feel that you are not the right candidate, or you have been rejected by the other candidates or the other institutions. So this might not be the best way forward. The best way forward here is that you tell the institution that you are getting interviewed by other institutions as well, but this institution happens to be the primary institution that you want to work with because of the certain qualities that you have seen in this institution, the certain things that are done better than the other institutions. And in this situation, Ayush took the liberty of telling the examiner that he has watched the dean's interviews, which convinced him to take admission in this college. That means he has researched about this institution, and any examiner anywhere will always appreciate such an effort.
Great. Good that you took out the time to watch the dean's interview and you gained some certain information
Yes,
from
sir.
there. Okay, so tell me about certain strengths that you feel are important for you to play a role in the hospitality industry. What are your strengths that are going to
Strengths.
help you to function better?
Sir, I overcome stress very easily as in the this sector, like as in this hospitality sector, we have to work a lot and deal with a lot of stress. So I do overcome stress very quickly or like easily, and I don't feel like work is burden. I feel like we are doing work because we want to do it. We get pleasure out of it. That's why, sir. And sir, I deal with people very politely, nicely, and this is what all we need for this sector.
Good.
This is a situation in which you can talk about a maximum of about five strengths, but you can also choose to talk about just one and exemplify about it. This is a question that you must have prepared for beforehand. You prepare for a question like this by conducting a SWOT analysis on yourself. The SWOT analysis is going to help you to understand about the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats that you might face in your career. So, SWOT analysis is a must for you to know about yourself. While you are doing this, you are going to consider yourself in the place of the perfect candidate that this industry might have, the candidate that might not be the best in everything that he or she is doing, which will help you to see what is it that you are already good at doing vis-a-vis what is it that you do not have in yourself. When you're talking about your strengths, you can list all of them, and here the question was very simple. He could have talked about all of those strengths in one sentence, or he could have chosen a road wherein he talked about just one of them, and that could have been patience. Patience is an amazing strength to show, at least in the interview situation. Patience is something that you would always require as long as you're going to be working in the service industry, and hence this can be seen as a really desirable skill, and the interviewer will also appreciate something of that sort.
Good. I'm glad that you have a perspective on it. Now that you have
Thank you, sir.
discussed that why is it that you want to join this, one thing that I want to understand clearly is that what is it that your expectations are from the course that you're going to do from our college? What is it that you expect to learn from this course?
I expect that this institution will lead me a better career, first of all. And the theoretical knowledge, after all, I said the practical knowledge also is like quite exemplary. Like it is very good, as I saw on like in videos also. There are certain events, workshops, which are going to like personality building. You say it would build my personality, and it would make me learn how to work properly in this particular sector.
Okay.
That
As an answer to this question, it is important that you tell the examiner what is it that your primary goal is. In most cases, our primary goal is to make it to the institution or make it to the organization of our choice. By having learned something from this institution, probably you are going to get admission in the higher institution of your choice or join an organization that you have always dreamt of working with. This is an opportunity for you to talk about how amazing are the institutional tie-ups of this particular institution. You can also take the opportunity of explaining the cultural and the technical events that this particular organization undertakes, so that you can learn something more than just theoretical knowledge. So Ayush talked about it clearly in this answer.
Ayush, you just talked about personality and you think that we will help you in enhancing your personality. Use a
is
few words for me to describe your personality that you have right now. How would you describe your personality at this point in time?
sub personality is not like a fixed trait. It varies from person to person. As on mine, honestly, I am like determined and dedicated towards my studies, work, whatever you say. And I like it's not a particular trait, but I do respect my teachers a lot. Like and very sincere towards everything.
Talking about multiple things as an answer to this question might be a tricky one. So, in this situation, I recommend that you talk about one trait that is absolutely related to the utility within this particular organization or this particular industry that you want to be a part of. Here, you can go through a list of desirable skills that you need in the industry of your choice from the internet. You can just simply talk about those particular things as an answer to this particular question.
Okay. Ayush, tell me, what do you understand by contaminated food? And is it the same as adulterated food?
Sir, adulterated food so contaminated food is what called in layman's term, dirty food. Dirty food, like not in terms of taste, but certain elements are added to it, so which makes it contaminated food. And adulterated food is something that something on purpose is added to a certain food for to enhance the taste or something.
As you must have realized that this was a googly question. In such a question, what an interviewer does is that he or she would ask you something that is absolutely simple, something that you have always known. But what it does is it is a situation in which you are thinking or you're trying to be perfect in your answer. And this is exactly the mistake that Ayush made in order to give me an answer to this question. As each of you must know the answer of this one, Ayush also knows the answer of this particular question. The only problem was that he was trying to look for a definition for this thing. The easiest things in the world are explained using examples. So, the best way of answering something that you know and is easy but you're finding it difficult to explain, then you can use an example to talk about it. That's the best way forward for a question like this.
Okay, okay. Then, how would you inspire loyalty and trust in your employees or your staff if you were heading a team?
Sir, can you repeat the question?
How would you inspire loyalty and trust in your team members or the staff that you're working with?
So first of all, I would make them feel comfortable with me, and like I think that that's the first step to build a basic trust. And I would support them, and I would help them to like pursue any work or something. If they find any difficulty, I would help them do their work also, but also help them so that they feel a sense of connectivity between the two. And that's how
Would
I
you
will
be playing a
establish.
role of a manager or a leader?
Sir,
What role
obvious.
will you be
Sir,
playing?
of course, I would like to play the role of a leader, as a leader is the one who leads the team with all his members.
As you must have realized that I led Ayush into an answer. But in most of the situations, if you are in an interview situation, you shouldn't allow the examiner to lead you into the answer. In such a situation, what Ayush should have done was to answer the question directly, showing me that he is going to work as a capable manager wherein his job was to optimize the work and work to the maximum efficiency. The second thing that he should have told me about was the leadership role that he is going to play, wherein he would never let anybody on his team astray. He would also not leave anybody behind. These are the traits of a leader, wherein he is going to work on the human angle along with maximizing the efficiency of theirs at work. This is where he could have worked as a manager while playing a leadership role within the organization. And that's the best way of answering this question.
Okay, good. Is there any question that you would want to ask of me?
Sir, no, sir, not of any particular question, but it's that just uh, are there any workshops on regular basis or on weekly, monthly, like just that I want to ask.
Ayush, we conduct monthly workshops with the people who are already working in the industry so that we can bring in the practical element of the learning that your people are doing here in college.
As you see, Ayush did have a question, but what he did was that he did not decide to ask that question at the first instance. His reflex, on the contrary, should have been to ask a legitimate question. His question is real, it's legit, but the problem is that he did not make that as a reflex. So, whenever an interviewer asks you if you have a question for them, always share a question that is going to give you more information about the institution or is going to help you make a decision in the future. If you are in a job interview situation, do not end up asking the examiner about the salary that they are going to offer you. However, you can talk about certain cultural activities, you can talk about certain events, you can talk about the growth trajectory that the institution or the organization can offer you.
Thank you so much, sir.